Right then everybody, this is the 2015 XJ6 SP, 600cc, 4-cylinder, non-ABS motorcycle. I never got round to making a proper video of it, and I noticed a lot of people don't actually do all the you know, crazy editing things like chase on two wheels anymore. They do somehow like I used to, so it kind of makes my life easier, so I can do a proper review on it. I've never done a review on a 600 before, as anybody to my channel would already know. My previous videos have been on 125s, which was the Lex motor and the Yamaha YZF. I've just got to keep looking the other way in case any traffic comes. I'm currently on a country lane, hoping that nobody comes, but this is just a general look of the bike. Like I say, it's 600, 4-cylinder, twin disc on the front, single on the back, non-ABS. It's a 65 plate, brand spanking new, 0 miles on the clock. Stock exhaust. What they've done different from the old XJ6 is they've sliced the seats in half, so it's 2 seats as opposed to 1 now. But apart from that, everything is exactly the same. Apart from there is no mud flap at the back. And there's one on the front. Now, it's a beautiful looking bike. It is restricted at the moment to the 35 kW because I'm only on the A2 license, so that is currently what it is at. It's a beautiful bike. It's very fast, even restricted. We've got the chicken strips down. Now, this price on the bike retail is £6,500. Now, this was the showroom edition, never moved, never touched. Well, it was moved, but it's been sat on a couple of times, has never been ridden. First owner, so it's one owner, which is me, and it was showroom, like I say, so it was £5,800. Retail insurance you're looking at, I'm 20 years old, I've got 2 years no claims, and at the moment it's setting at about £930 for a year, which is around, what did I work out? Okay, I pay mine in full, so I think it was around £61 a month, which for me is not that bad, because my YZF was 30 something pound, so it's not much of a difference, and you know, it's a bigger bike. So just a little general look, and then we shall go for a little ride. I like the detail that they've gone to it. I love the stock exhaust, even with the sound. Sounds absolutely beautiful. There is no difference anymore between the old XJ series and the SP. I'm lying, there is. There's the Farben, yes, Farben, not real carbon, fake carbon. You've got the Farben sides, which is nice, can't scratch it. The Farben front sort of fender, I would kind of call it. It's not really, it's a non-fed bike, so you can still declare it as that. Farben there, you got Farben around the lights, it's all movable. Farben on the other side, and you got another Farben plate there. I don't think there is any more Farben on the bike, and I'm saying Farben because it's not real carbon fibre, just so anybody who doesn't understand. Like I say, it's running stock exhaust. I'll give you guys a little listen. That's how the screen starts up. Just a normal, you know, indicators, left and right, hazard lights, main beam, low beam, horn, electric start and emergency stop. That's what it sounds like on first start. Nice, quiet, you know, petite. It can backfire very easily, but without further ado, let's get to a ride. Right then, so what is this bike like to ride? Well, you've seen your general look around the bike, you've seen what it looks like. Now we can get onto the ride and we can talk a little bit into it, how it feels, how it looks when riding obviously, and how well the mirrors actually are, because I know most problems on bikes these days are mirrors. you know, not being able to see out of them, or they're very cheap quality. But we can get into it now. And initially, what is the comfort like on this bike? Well, between all three of bikes that I've currently owned over these past year and a half, this has to be the comfiest bike I've ridden and had. It's so comfy. Whether you wear jeans, whether you wear textiles, whether you wear leathers, the seat is unbelievably comfy. Same as the rear, the passenger seat, the pillion seat, whatever you want to call it. They're both made of the same, they've both got the same comfort in, although I would say that the pillion has a little bit more padding. People tend to argue with me, but anyone that's been on this bike has never been on the actual main rider's seat. So, I mean, with the comfort wise, it's brilliant. Now, what's the speed like? Every gear there is power. For a 600 restricted, that's 6th gear, and there is still plenty of power in the bike left to deliver. So power wise, restricted, still awesome. This bike has plenty of torque in every single gear. No matter what gear you're in, it just wants to pull. It really does. It's actually remarkable. Everybody that's rode this bike that's on 1,000 has said how much pull this bike actually has, even for all of its gears, bearing in mind it's only got half throttle restriction. And they seem to think it's quite crazy themselves. So to have somebody say that to you makes you feel pretty good about owning this bike. Mirrors. This is the first bike by far I've owned, comparing it to all my others, that I can happily say I love the mirrors. I can see all my corners, all my blind spots, everything behind me, and even my arms, and I can still see everything. Now, I've never been able to see anything hardly ever out of my mirrors because I'm quite a stocky guy. I'm not this, you know, I'm not like a thin guy. I can't get like I'm fortunate with that. I can't really get to that sort of size, so I'm quite a big boy. So it's quite hard to see out on most bike mirrors, and the fact that I can see out this one makes my opinion on it even more the better, and it just makes, you know, the bike feel awesome. You know, what else do we have? You know, we have half digital, half needle screen, which in my opinion always makes the bike look good. I'm all for all digital, but you know, a bit of the old effect, you know, a bit of needle gives it, you know, makes it look a bit better in my opinion. Not everybody thinks so. They always think, you know, it's got to be all needle or all digital. Well, I like it with a bit of both. Every single bike I've had, apart from the Lex Moto, has had half digital, half needle. The YZF has had full digital. I found it quite good, but I found it very inaccurate as well. I find the needle on this is quite precise with your RPMs, as opposed to most of my other bikes. The Lex Moto was quite wrong with its needle, but this one seems to be one of the rightest ones, which is quite good. We've got the indicators right at the top and right at the back on the Faben, which is always quite nice because you can see them as well as everybody else, because it's right in the driver's height, I would say. So there's no argument that they couldn't see it on the back and on the front. I'd say this kind of has halo lights on it, purely because when you go from low beam to high beam, it lights up the road like a circle. It has a full ring around everything. It's quite strange to see it, and it looks bloody awesome because it has like 3 lights built into it. It has the main beam, the low beam, and it also has a light at the top, which is pretty goddamn cool, if I might say myself, which obviously is a Yamaha thing. Everything is all on like a squishy washer, so vibration and bounces and everything don't really affect it and don't make it hit on anything. So if you go over a hard bump, it will just wobble and then clip back in, so it doesn't snap or come loose, or screws don't come out or anything like that, which is always a good design. It has an adjustable brake on the front, which is bloody awesome. Like I said at the beginning, this is a non-ABS bike, so the fact of the dual brakes at the front, they are snatchy as hell. I have managed to lock the front wheel at once. I wasn't even going very fast, I just wasn't paying attention to what I was actually doing. and in consequence I locked the front wheel up. Not a big deal, didn't really do a lot, didn't come off the bike, managed to save it, so it was pretty good. Back brake is very good, you can skid on it very easily, which is always fun. That's one of the reasons why I didn't use the ABS, because I always found with the ABS version of this, it was the same on the YZF. If you push too hard, it would click and kick you off it, which I didn't really like because I always felt like I was snapping something. That's what put me off the ABS version. That's the reason why I stuck to this one. But like I say, still good. Tank, I can't remember the litre precisely, but it has to be around 18 to 20 litres. It's quite a hungry little bugger. It drinks a lot of fuel depending on your riding. Now, I don't know how most riders are. I'm quite an aggressive rider on my RPMs, which means I drink a lot of fuel, which means I can only average around 130 miles till empty. So that's kind of bad. Driving sensibly, I can probably get around 210 miles out of a tank, which I'd say pretty good, and I don't have any complaints with regards to that. You know, I like all the Farben sides, it's always quite nice, and you know, I like the normal bars, you know, as opposed to clip-ons, because I can clip my phone on and I can be happy. You know, which is always good. Gripping is lovely. Your position is however you want to be, actually. This bike puts you in plenty of different positions. When you're going fairly quick, I'd say, the bike always wants to make you kind of hunch forward a little bit because of the wind. With general riding, you're more leant back, relaxed. You don't have to stretch, you just touch the bar, it's there. Your throttle is, you know, throttle response is ridiculous. See? Gears, not very crunchy. They're pretty good actually, unless you want to get high RPM from first to second, then you get a slight little crunch on it, which is nothing drastic. But getting to 60, not a big deal. Very easy speed, like I say. It's there, it's done. It does have a under seat, which I will show towards the end of the video. And you can fit a pretty decent amount in there. You can fit a U-lock, a little disc lock, and you can fit a like a gate lock in there, which is always good. Key, it's got a built-in immobiliser, so you've got first hit the security straight away without having to even do anything. So you have 4 keys, you have 3 black, 1 red, one which is the primer, so if you ever lose your key you have to use that one to get a new one done because of the built-in immobiliser, and the others are just normal standard keys that you got. And that's really it. I mean, there isn't much more you can say about this bike apart from it's beautiful looking. It's got the speed most people tend to want these days, and it just feels absolutely awesome to ride. So if you ever come across one of these and you want to buy one, I advise you to. I'm not trying to sell on behalf of Yamaha, I'm not a sales rep, I'm just telling you what I think you should do. So I'm going to leave this video here. I'm going to quickly show you the under seat, then I'll leave you guys to it, and you can be a decider of your own fate of if you want to buy this bike or not. So I'll give you one little glance, which is, there's the keyhole. Oh yeah, and the bike has built-in data tag as well. Lift the back seat off, and voila, all of that is your space. I've got a big boss disc lock in there. You do normally get toolkit, but you just take that out because it's crap. But yeah, I'll leave you guys to make your own fates, and I'll see you all later on.